Hello, this is Steve Wanamaker, CEO of CDO Magazine. Welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. It's my honor to have Marco Vernocchi, the global CDO of EY, and Arijit Sengupta, the CEO of Aible, on the interview today. So, gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
So, first question goes to Marco. Why has value delivery not worked after all of these years?
Of course, we also have challenges here in the industry and the cases. So, what are, in my own opinion, some of the aspects that may be challenges in the value delivery? I would say first is what I'm referring to as the double speed. The double speed means that the business wants everything now and here, but setting up a data value chain across all of the dimensions, it's a job in itself. You need to make sure that all of the functional aspects of data management are properly in place, the data quality is in there, the life cycle management is there, but also that all of the technology requirements are properly set up, the legal conditions and restrictions, and I could go on. So setting in place a proper data value chain is sometimes requiring a level of preparation that the business is a bit impatient for. So that is an element of, let's say, value delivery challenge. The second aspect may be associated to the technology, because when you think about delivery, technology is a big a big role to play. And over the years, we've been observing the evolution of the technology landscape from the data warehouses to the big data lakes and so on. And over time, we've been learning that some of the winning stories that they had when they came in first, they are now becoming elements of challenge because they are not flexible enough adapting to new conditions, such as, just to mention one, distributed data processing, or let's say, taking into account global restrictions such as the geopolitical restrictions that we need to take into consideration. So data protection and new types of aspects. Now, the good news is that the technology is driving fast, and we have new ways of a new architecture. I don't want to go into too many examples. Maybe one is the concept of data fabrics, which is a new concept that is giving us the flexibility to manage data in a distributed manner with global semantic layers that are giving us the opportunity to manage data on a global basis with limited effort in terms of data movement or data copies. But in any case, the technology may be an element of delivery challenges. The last one, and I would really say last but not least at all, because I think is the most important point in my mind, is the concept of data reuse and data sharing. That concept is not included early enough in all of the design thinking of new products or new services. Very often, or too often, data is only considered after the design or the definition of a product or a service has been made, and it comes as an ancillary part of that. That is creating a delivery problem. So one of the, I think, most important things that we as data officers or data leaders may play is bring data upfront in the innovation cycle, in the design cycle, in the business creation cycle. That will create a much more efficient delivery mechanism. So data reuse and data sharing should be at the center of the innovation of the enterprises and the ecosystem.
Arijit, your opinion, sir.
So I'm going to go a little extreme, so you'll have to bear with me for a second. Everything you're hearing in general about data analytics is with a human-first mindset. So a lot of the friction points and issues come because we have had to design with human-first mindset up to now. The world is shifting to AI first, and many of the things we are doing don't make sense in an AI first world. Very simple example. We are working with, again, going back to the intro I was talking about, they had a huge volume of transactions come in. Then they would have a team do some data engineering and put that in a data lake. They would do some more transformations and create certain reports out of that data lake. Then a different team was picking that up and creating a predictive model. where they would create more features and transformations. Then at the time of deployment, IT needs to figure out where the heck do I get the transaction from? Oh, I have to get raw transaction, not from before the data lake. I got to recreate everything that got done in the 3 stages in the middle for me to be able to predict off of data that's coming in on the wire, right? So what you created is this really complex multi-stage thing where things got cleaned and transformed by different systems and different processes, and then you had to replicate it all. Eventually, we gave up, and what we decided to do is just take that raw data feed and create the predictive models based on it, create the analytical models based on it, to Marco's point, let people share insights, not data. So we were not giving people access to the raw data because of regulatory reasons, data privacy, data security reasons, but giving them the ability to look at insights gleaned by the AI while enforcing something called K-anonymity, where you can't get to the raw data, but you can get to the insights. So we had to completely rethink the process with the AI first mindset, where we said, look, everything was designed for the human being to do what they wanted and to get very quick responses to specific questions. Whereas what the AI does is it understands what's in the data and then can present the insights. Some of the insights might be analytical, some of the insights might be data quality oriented, some of the insights are predictive models and recommendations, but they're all the same to the AI. It just needs to understand the data and present it in different ways. So you're not going to be able to throw away the human first process, because right now that'll be 95% of the business. 5 years from now, you're going to find AI first is 50-60% of your actual work. 10 years from now, it'll be AI first 90% of the time, human first as the minority. But you have to get ready right now, because you can't. AI is such a different transformative approach to things. If you are doing what you were doing 10 years back and just said, I'm just going to plug AI into it, you are not rethinking your business in terms of what is possible. You're just living to old constraints and trying to plug in a new technology, and that doesn't work. You're not going to get the transformative power of the new technology.
Arijit, I have a follow-up question for you based on your comments. Analytics and AI projects require months of effort. In these changing times, this means organizations are acting on stale, months-old insights. How has your team addressed such delays?
Well, that's a gimme, because that's literally the project I was talking about, right? Like we had to go rethink the end-to-end process, because we realized if we just did what was being done, there was no way. They wanted today's insights today. Like the request from the organization was, they were trying to find fraud patterns faster than the fraudsters could change their patterns, right? So imagine fraudsters are changing their patterns every 2 months, 3 months. If your analysis process takes 3 months, you're always behind the 8 ball, right? By the time you found the pattern, the fraudsters have changed the pattern. So they wanted to get to be faster. They wanted to, I want to figure out within a span of 2-3 days that a new fraud pattern has shown up. Well, it's impossible, because we looked at their process and the data cleansing process was taking a month to 2 months. So we are always looking at 2 months stale data. And we had to change that factor to, no, let's take a look at raw data. You cannot know fraud, because by definition, to know whether it's a fraud pattern, I need to have labeled data that says this is fraud. But what you can do is find strange new things happening, the unknown unknowns. AI will flag to you, hey, there are some strange things happening here. And then you as the human have to look at that and say, is that fraud? Or is that actually something benign? Because if you wanted to tell you that it's fraud, again, you have to wait until you have examples of fraud that are known to the AI. So we have to change the mindset. We have to change the role the human plays and the role the AI plays. AI can't do magic, but AI can augment you. And once we rethought that process as AI is the anomaly detection, it's very specific anomaly detection. What has changed? Show me what has changed. And then let the human figure out, does that change reflect fraud or not? That allowed us to move to today's data today, today's insights today.
Okay. Marco, any thoughts from you, sir?
Yeah, well, so obviously, Arijit already said some very important principles. So just to add a slightly additional perspective is the concept of data democratization, right? So let me explain briefly what I mean. One of the issues in the cycle times and the challenges is that when we talk about data, analytics, AI, we still talk about the production cycle, right? Instead of the consumption cycle. So let me give you an example. We are trying to work extensively at EY on the concept of business ontologies, which is just, let me say, to make it simple, moving the complexity of data tables and databases and files and records and so on with simple business terminology that people in the business can use and work with. So decoupling the production line. If again, I can make you a very basic example. If you are in your kitchen, you want to have the ingredient to prepare your dinner. You don't care about how each of the ingredients has been created and what has been the delivery chain from vegetables in Italy to the States, or from Brazil to Norway, and so on, and how they have been treated, and all of the, let's say, chemical elements. You don't want to care about that. You just want to prepare your dinner.
I want a pizza. That's what we want, an awesome Italian pizza.
There you go. That is and always a success, right? So now the point is, how can you make the world of data, analytics, insights, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and you can add as many new advanced technologies that all based on the intelligence, easy and simple in front of the business consumers. Only when we will be able to do that, and a lot of what Arijit mentioned is heading in that direction, but the more we will be able to get to this level of simplicity on the edge of the users, only at that point in time, we will overcome completely the hurdles we are dealing with today. And at that time, it will be a completely new wave of value creation.
Okay.
I'm just saying that time is today. So I really like Marco's point. I'm just saying that time is today. We don't need to wait. Let's get going. But completely agree with Marco on that.
Well, thank Marco, Arijit, thank you for being a part of our interview series today. This is Steve Wanamaker, the CEO and publisher of CDO Magazine. To learn more, go to cdomagazine.tech.